Hey everybody, how you doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. I've been looking forward to getting this series started for a while, so glad to see some of you guys coming around for tonight. So, today I want to go through. We're going to start this lab series, and I think it should be a great time. It's something I want to build on over time. I think if you hadn't seen the previous video where I kind of explained what we're going to be doing, I really want to be going through and building like a decent sized lab in my home setup, and then we'll be going through some different attacks in that lab, and then also like I hope to set up some good logging and like log aggregation in the lab. That way, after we do the attacks, we can go through and analyze what kind of footprints were left behind from those attacks, and maybe how we could approach it from like an incident response standpoint. So we're gonna be building like a big purple team lab. So I'm really looking forward to it. So hey, what's up, Cody? How you doing, man? All right. So to get started, I want to talk about what I've got for my home lab setup as far as hardware goes, just so you guys have an idea of what we're really working with here. So I'm using a Unify Dream machine to do a lot of my networking stuff. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like in case you're not familiar with that. Basically, it's like a all-in-one machine that Unify sells. So it does, it's a wireless access point. It does routing. It's got security gateways. You can set up VPNs. It's a really easy way for us to set up a bunch of different connections and then, or like different networks and segment them off into different subnets, set up firewall rules and things like that. So that's what I'm using to segment a lot of the different networks that I run at home. So, I might have different wireless networks for different devices, like, maybe my IoT devices, which I don't trust because I buy cheap ones, or, like smart TVs and stuff like that. And of course, I want to segment that away from our lab, which I don't know, maybe we'll be running some different attacks on or malware or things like that, which of course I don't want getting out into my home setup. So that's what I'm running as far as that goes. I also have an 8-port PoE switch from them that I use to connect a lot of my machines together. Then I have my desktop, it's not very great. It's got like a 3rd gen i7 and 16 gigs of RAM. It's nothing too crazy. I don't do any virtualization really on the desktop. And then for my server, my ESXi server, which we've got here, this is where like the bulk of my home lab stuff is. I've got a server that I custom built, and it's got an AMD EPYC processor with 16 cores in it, which turns into 32 virtual CPUs when we're doing virtualization with ESXi. And then it's also got 96 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and then we've got a decent amount of storage. I think like 3 or 4 terabytes in here. And on top of that, I've also got a Synology DS418. This is the newest addition to the lab. Basically, it is a 4-bay NAS, so it's what I use to do a lot of different file storage. So I don't know, maybe we can integrate that into the lab at some point. It's something I'm using right now just in like production in my home lab environment. But maybe we can find a way to play with this in the lab as well. So that's pretty much all of the hardware that I have set up. And everything as far as that goes, just so you all have an idea of what we can actually play with and the things that we can start working with when we're building this lab. I'm pretty much okay with using any of my resources for this stuff, but of course there's going to be some things that I can't touch just because I don't want to let sensitive information out and things like that. So I think the first thing we should do to start off by building this lab is creating a segmented network through my Unify Dream machine. That way we can keep everything in the lab contained to one subnet and it doesn't get out. So to do that, I'm just going to go into the settings here in my Dream machine. Let's go over to networks, and then we can add a new network here. So we'll just call this like, I don't know, YouTube lab. And then it's really easy to set stuff up here. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy it. So we can just set a VLAN ID here, and this will automatically put this on like a 192.168.11.0/24 subnet. So, everything else should be standard here. This is also going to do all the DHCP for us. Now, we might be able to migrate that over into an Active Directory like domain controller for that, but we don't have to. I don't know. We'll play around with it and see what happens. Now, let's actually put it on .9.0/24. So I'm going to go ahead and change that just because I don't like the VLANs not matching the 3rd octet in my lab. I don't know. I'm a little weird with that. So I'm going to change this back to VLAN 9. It doesn't really matter what the number is as long as it's not colliding with any of the other VLANs, which it shouldn't be. So, all right. So now we have the new YouTube lab, and we've got that subnet set up. So I'm going to pop back over to ESXi, and we're going to do the same thing. So with my server, I've got 2 gigabit network cards in here, and each of them is attached to a different port on the switch. And then we can do VLAN tagging through different port groups in ESXi. So basically, we create this network in ESXi or this port group. See, bus driver, this is live, right? Yeah, this is live. We're live right now. And so, yeah, we can create different networks and, we can create a port group and assign it to tag with VLAN 9, the same VLAN we just set up on the Dream Machine. And that's going to make sure it gets the same IP address that we were seeing before, that 192.168.9.0/24. So let's go ahead and add a port group. I'm going to put it to VLAN 9, like we just said, and we'll just call this the YouTube lab. And we should be good to go. Virtual switch 0, that's perfect. And we'll just hit add. So now we have this new network. Right now, nothing is segmented though. So if we go over to security, I should be able to create some quick firewall rules here. It's not really that necessary right now, but we can just create a new LAN rule. We'll just call this YouTube lab deny all. So essentially what we want to do is just deny that YouTube lab network from hitting any of the other networks in my environment. So let's see, we'll put this into the LAN in group. We'll set action to reject. So it rejects all of the packets that match this rule. And let's see. Oh, no need to be sorry to interrupt. I'm happy people talk and interact and stuff like that. See, if it wasn't so cheap, I'd buy a nice server with virtualization like this one. Yeah, it definitely was a bit of an investment. I think I spent like $2,500 on the server, but I think it's been worth it in the long run. I really have I've enjoyed having that kind of hardware at my disposal. It took a bit to save up and to pull the trigger and pay for it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm really glad I spent the money on it. And if you're interested, I can drop the all the specifications for my server in my Discord after the stream if you want. Just if you're in the Discord, just ping me and remind me, and I'll post them in there later. But from here, let's see. We want to do source type. We'll do network, and we want to find that YouTube lab. So we want to deny all traffic from the YouTube lab to everything else. So in destination, it's just going to be set to any, and that should be fine. So now when we create new machines in ESXi and we put them on that YouTube lab port group that we just saw, they're going to get an IP address that is 192.168.9.0/24. And then those machines won't be able to talk to anything else on my home network. So that's cool. And this Unify stuff makes it really easy. I'm a big fan of it. I have had a couple issues with the Unify Dream Machine. I've had some issues with it going down and things like that before. But overall, I think it was like $300 and it was well worth it. I would highly recommend this stuff. And if you have their whole suite of things, like I have the Dream Machine, like I said, and I also have the managed switch. So I can just go through and control the switch and all that through the Dream Machine. And it's just awesome. Like I can assign the different port groups and things like that on the physical switch, and it can create nice network maps of my home network and stuff, and really nice visuals. I'd show you all that. I don't really want to give away that kind of information on my home network right now, but maybe I'll find a way to make some static images and show you all later. But it's been really cool. So that should all be set up. We should be good to go. Yep, we have the YouTube lab. We should be fine. So now I want to go through, and I think the plan for the stream today is I really want to set like the groundwork for this lab. I don't really want to do any like magic or anything like that off stream. I want to show it all so you guys know exactly what's going into this lab and how we're setting things up. I don't want to be doing things in the shadows or leaving parts out. So today what I want to do is go through. We're going to be doing a bunch of server installs and things like that. So I think, we'll get our initial AD domain set up, and we'll probably add a couple different Windows servers and maybe some workstations. Then we'll go through, maybe do some basic group policy stuff, make some simple OUs in AD, apply some of that basic group policy to the OUs, and maybe we'll see where we'll go from there. Maybe we'll set up like a web server, a file share server. I'm not too sure. I know like later on, I'd like to set up a Microsoft SQL server. It's something I've actually never set up before. I've worked with them, but I've never deployed them. But I think it'd be cool if we built that Microsoft SQL database, and then we created like some PHP app on our IIS server. We integrated those two so that, maybe the PHP web page is pulling from the database. And of course, I'm sure you can see we could probably do some SQL attacks or code in some custom web apps to do that. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, let me know, and we can definitely take the lab in that direction. I think it'd be a fun thing to do. But let's see, to start out, let's go and create a new VM. We'll just hit next here. We'll preface everything here with YouTube or YT so we don't get it mixed up. First thing we'll do is install the domain controller. We'll just call it DC1. Let's see. So guest OS, we're going to do Windows. The version, no, I'm running ESSi 6.5. So I don't have the option to select Windows Server 2019, which is what we're going to be using, but selecting 2016 should be just fine as well. I'm going to put everything on this data store 3 we have here. This data store, it's a 1 terabyte solid state drive that I have, so everything should be fairly fast. I do also have an M2 drive, which is my data store 0. That's very fast, but I kind of use that for my on-the-fly testing stuff, or I need to spin up quick environments, maybe for work or something like that, just to do some quick testing. So let's go ahead and click next. You'll see, maybe some of you haven't used ESXi before as a hypervisor. I find it great. I really love using it. I used to use VirtualBox and stuff like that all the time, and there's no reason that you can't replicate this lab using like VirtualBox or VMware or in the cloud. You certainly can. I'd say the main things that's going to be different is just the networking settings and things like that. But yeah, besides the networking, you should be able to replicate this, identically. There shouldn't be any issues with that. For the domain controller, I'm going to give this 2 CPUs, and let's give it 8 gigs of RAM. That should be fine to start out with. We can always tinker these as we go. We'll say 50 gigs of hard drive space. I think that should be fine. And then down here, we can specify the network, which is where we can put it in that YouTube lab. And then the last thing we need to do is give it an ISO file to actually boot off of. So I have those in data store 2. Let's see, we should have Windows Server 2019. That's 2016, 2019. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and hit next, and then we should be able to launch that up. Great. If you don't know, you can download all of these like Windows ISOs and stuff as evaluation copies. This will give you a 180-day free trial from Microsoft's website. It's completely legit. There's no like cracked licenses or anything like that. And then actually, I didn't know this until recently, but you can renew those evaluation copies, I believe, up to 6 times. So you can actually get like 3 years free off of one eval ISO. And that was great for me because I'm using Windows Server to manage my home security system. And I was wondering why the server kept shutting down. Like my security cameras and stuff were fine, but the DVR behind it kept shutting down. I wasn't quite sure why, and it turns out that the Windows eval license expired, and then I was able to just go ahead and renew it, and everything was all fine. Now, another thing I like about using this like VMware setup is you can see, well, we just powered on that DC1. Now, there's a few different ways that we can console into this. So, this hypervisor allows us to have a direct console into our different servers. So we could open up a browser console like this, right? And it opens up this nice little window that's just in our browser. We can also go to console. We can open it in like a new window or a new tab. But since I also have VMware Workstation, we can hit Launch Remote Console. And what this is going to do, it's really cool. I use this all the time. You've probably seen it in all my videos. But it opens up VMware Workstation, which is, it's very similar to VirtualBox. If you've used that before. And now we have this window of VMware Workstation open on my desktop, right? So this is running on my desktop, and it's like a remote session into this virtual machine. So it acts like it's running on my desktop. I can do everything that I would normally do. It looks like it's running on my desktop, but all the hardware that's being used is actually on my server. So it saves me a lot of resources, and that's why I go with having like a very, pretty weak desktop that's just powerful enough to do some basic tasks. And then I put the money in to have a powerful server because I can do all of this, remote controlling and things like that through VMware. So I really like their suite of tools. But, you could do this in any sort of hypervisor or virtualization environment. There's really no prerequisites or, special VMware specific things that I'm going to be doing with this. So for all these Windows servers, I'm like a Windows baby, and I'm going to go through and use the desktop experience. I know using Core can be a lot better and run better, but I'm not comfortable enough with managing these environments to do it without the graphical environment. And, that's just something I'll preface this whole series with, is it's going to be a lot of me actually learning this stuff as we go along as well. Some of these things I do know and have done before. Some of them I have a good idea, but I've never done it myself. And some things that I want to do in this lab, I have no idea about. I've never done it before, but I think it'll be fun to just dive right in. That's really the benefit of having a lab, is that you can spin all this stuff up and do whatever you want to do. There's no big deal if you don't know things. You can just take the time and learn it. So now, while this is started, I'm just going to go through and let's just go ahead and start up some new server installs as well. Have multiple of these going at the same time. So next thing, let's do YT. Well, let's just call this. Let's set up a Windows server. that it's going to run IIS. So we'll just call this YouTube Web dash 1. That should be fine. Now, a lot of these that we're going to be doing today are going to be Windows, but I'm not opposed to adding Linux machines into here at all. Not at all. So I think, just kind of driven by what you all want to see and maybe the things I'm interested in learning as well. So let's see. Got to jump off for a bit. We'll be back later. Awesome, man. No worries. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. All right. So yeah, so we'll do Windows 2016, just like before, put it on data store 3. And then let's see. For this one, I'm just going to give it 2 CPU cores and 8 gigs of RAM as well. I don't mind over allocating for now. If we start running into some issues with the availability of resources, I'll either buy more hardware or we'll scale it down. We'll see. I think the RAM is pretty cheap right now, so I wouldn't be opposed to buying more RAM. That's for sure. I think the stuff I was buying was like, I don't know, I want to say it's like $130 for 32 gigs of RAM, which I really don't think is too bad of a deal. I mean, it was expensive when I bought a lot of it at first, but I wouldn't mind buying another, 32 gigabyte stick at all. I think that would be fine. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of limitations we could possibly run into. I haven't ran a lot of concurrent machines on this ESXi server before. I think I've stress tested it and ran like 15 machines at once, but I didn't keep those up for very long because I didn't have a use for it. But let's see. Right now, let's see how our utilization is looking. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we're not really using much of the resources on the system at all. So I think we can build a pretty sizable lab with the hardware I've got right now. So I'm actually just going to put this into another remote console. Like I said, we'll get both of these going at the same time. And it's nice, you can just kind of switch and tab back and forth between these. So that's really nice. So we'll get all these server installs going. Maybe in the future, I don't know if anyone's interested in automation, but that's definitely a big passion of mine, is doing some automated work with like Ansible or Packer for building these machines. It's something I do have experience with, so I could probably explain that stuff hopefully decently well. Something I've been working on is like an automated domain controller deployment. So I've done it before with like hacked together PowerShell scripts, but I've never done it with Ansible and gotten it to work flawlessly. So I do have a working copy, but you have to run the playbook more than once because the way Windows restarts kind of work. It kind of registers if the VM is being started and running, even when it's not. So that's a shame. But, if you all are interested in taking a look at some automation, maybe we can do that later. I think setting Ansible Tower up or AWX would be really cool in this lab. The sky's the limit. We can really do whatever we want, which is great. So let's see. Let's also start up another VM. So let's just go through. I want to do like a Windows 10 workstation as well. So we'll just call it like, I don't know, YouTube Win 10-1. And then, of course, we'll go through, put this to Windows. We'll put this to Windows 10. I probably scrolled past it. Let's see. We don't have Windows 10 here. That's strange. I'm sure we do. There we go. Okay. I'm just blind. Don't worry about me. All right, cool. Put that on data store 3, just like the other. I think we can just give this one, I don't know. We should be able to just do 1 CPU. We'll give it 6 gigs of RAM. That should be enough for one Windows 10 machine. We'll put this on the same network. And data store ISO, let's go through. I should have a Windows 10 ISO in here. I hope so. Windows 10 Enterprise. Perfect. That's what we want. So I do want to potentially take advantage of some of these enterprise features. Like I know LAPS is a thing, local administrative password solution, but I've never actually set it up before. So I think that would be something really cool to do later on the line. But, of course, like I said, I have no idea how we would go about doing that. So I'd either have to do a lot of reading beforehand or just do it live. Well, let's see. Looks like something didn't work on that. I don't know why. Okay, let's just go through and try to create that again. Haven't seen that happen very often. I probably messed up one of the settings. So let's just go through and create that one again just to make sure. Now, I'm curious to hear from you all. Does anybody out there have any ideas for things they want added to this lab? I think it'd be cool to have it community driven, and whatever you all want to see is what I'd be happy to try to learn and try to put out. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the stream chat. I'd be happy to hear it. All right, so let's try this again. Not too sure why the last one failed. Let's see. We'll give it Yep, 40 gigs I think should be fine for one Windows 10 desktop. Put this on the YouTube Lab network, and then let's go back to that data store ISO. So let's see. Windows 10 Enterprise, perfect, that should be fine. And hit next. Hopefully this works. All right, good. It looks like that works. So we can just power that one on, and then we'll put that into our remote console as well. Awesome. So it looks like our domain controller is getting ready. So I'm just going to go through and set some default passwords on all of these. Do some really poor password management with these to start out with, which that's fine for now. It's just a lab, right? All right, so hopefully, let's see. This should be all set up. So we're going to do a Control-Alt-Delete here. Perfect. So we should be able to do our initial login, and then we'll have to go through setting up the actual Active Directory domain and then promoting it to a domain controller. Now, I've done a fairly in-depth guide of how to do this in a previous video, so if you want to see that again without coming back to the stream, just go ahead and check that video out. Let's see how these other ones are coming along. This one, that's a black screen. Oh, that's rebooting. Okay. And this one is ready for our initial prompts. Cool. So we'll get a few of these going, and hopefully the install shouldn't take too long. Throw something random on the network like Red Star OS. Red Star OS. I've never even heard of that. What is that? Is that Linux? Is that Unix based, or I don't even know what that is. I mean, I'm open to it as long as it's not something you made that gives you an instant shell on my network. Awesome. All right, so cool. Now back to our domain controller. We have the typical Windows Server Manager set up here, but it of course is not a domain controller yet. So what we can do is let's go to Manage and add roles and features. We'll just go ahead and hit Next. We'll do role-based configuration. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to change the server name before we do this. So let's go to local server and just change the name to DC-1. That should be fine. That's going to require a reboot after doing the name change. So that's fine. We just hit close and that'll restart. Let's go check in on the other ones. Okay, looks like our web server is ready for this. So we'll go ahead and put our default password in here. Now I am putting these passwords to the same value. So maybe we can show some pass the hash and stuff like that later down the line. I don't know. Could be fun. So let's see. Red Star OS is North Korean based OS. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I'm putting a North Korean distro on my network. It does sound kind of tempting, but I don't know about that. Yeah, for some reason, I'm having this issue with VMware Workstation, where when these tabs are not named like this, it is causing some issues and not actually letting me send control. So I'm just gonna have to close this out and then start these consoles again. It doesn't take any time to do, but it's a little bit annoying. I don't know. There's some glitches that happen with it, but overall, I enjoy it. I enjoy the VMware suite of stuff. So let's go ahead. Can we do multi-select? That'd be cool. Awesome. Hopefully we'll get a console into both of these now. All right, let's see. We only got one. All right, well, we'll try this one. Yeah, I can't believe you tried to recommend me a North Korean OS. Hey, that's a first. All right. So let's take a look. Let's try to send the controllers delete now. There we go. Cool. All right. So now we can log into that, get that going. Same with this one. We're going to log in, send the Control-Alt-Delete. It took me forever to learn that you actually have to go through and click the button to send Control-Alt-Delete. I kept hitting actually Control-Alt-Delete, which is an escape sequence for the host machine. So that gave me a lot of problems starting out. But hey, you live and you learn, right? All right. So now we should be able to go through and add roles and features. Now that we change the name, you don't really have to change the name first. It's just, I don't know. It's the order I like to work in. So cool. We'll select our server. Now we want to put the Active Directory domain services on here. That's automatically going to put in all of the requirements for it too. So that's good. We'll just go ahead and hit next. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things in here that we can definitely play with in later streams. I think it'd be great. Maybe we can do some BitLocker stuff. I don't know if you can do that with virtualization. I don't know much about it, but it'd be cool to try out. I don't know. Why not, right? All right, let's restart the server automatically. Yeah, that's fine. And then hit install. Cool. So it should go through and install all of the requirements it needs to actually make this a domain controller, and then also all of the management tools on that too, so we can go through and actually manage the domain once we get it spun up and all that. Okay, now our web server looks like this one is all set up and good to go. Let's see, what should we do here? So we'll go to manage, add roles and features. No. First, I want to rename it. So let's see, we'll go to local server, and then let's rename this. What did we call it? Web-1. Cool. So we'll call it Web1. That's not the right field. There we go. This is Web1. There we go. Web1. And then go ahead. There's too many windows and too many settings in these Windows machines. There we go. Apply, restart now. Awesome. Now let's check in on our Windows 10 client. That's still getting ready. Cool. All right. So this should be going. Hopefully this one won't take too long. We're also going to have to do the Windows updates, which if you've ever built these Windows machines from an ISO, doing the updates after can take a while. So that might be the only thing that I complete and finish off stream, because, I don't want to sit here while that's all, going through all that. See, we be setting up a CM in your lab environment. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think that could definitely be something we do. I think that'd be a great feature in the lab. I think it's a good idea for sure. I definitely would like to set Splunk up in the lab. I have a little bit of experience with Splunk, but nothing too crazy. I've deployed it once before, and I haven't messed with their forwarders too much, like their the Splunk Universal Forwarder and stuff like that. But it's something I would love to do and get running up here. That is definitely one of my big goals. Because, again, when we're going through and doing like the purple team stuff where we're attacking this environment and then we're trying to see how did this attack happen? How can we fix it? I think, if you don't have logs, it's pretty hard to know what the attacker did and what path they took, right? So that's definitely a big important thing. All right, so now we are back on Web 1. So let's go to manage and add roles and features. And we're going to put IIS onto here so we can have our IIS server. So let's just do role-based or feature-based installations. Okay, Web 1. Now let's see. Web server right here. Web server IIS. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we'll do that. Go through and do next. And I think that's all we should need for the IIS server. Okay, so that should be good. Perfect. So we'll let all that by default. We can always add more things to it, to the installation if we need to. But I'm not too worried about that. Oh, before I forget, I also want to set up a file share server. So I'm going to create another VM. Let's just go through and we'll call this YT, share-1. So this will be like our Samba share server. I know we'll have shares on the domain controller, but maybe we want a dedicated share server. I don't know. It could be something fun to do, right? So we'll do Windows. We'll put this again to 2016 because we don't have 2019 in here. Cool. Data store, same thing. We might need to give this a little bit more hard drive space than we've done before. So let's see, we'll do 2 CPUs. We'll give it 8 gigs of RAM. Just give it 60 gigs of hard drive space in case we want to host things on there. Maybe we could set up like auto-mounted drives for users and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be fun. So we'll put it on YouTube Lab, and then let's see. We'll go to Data Store 2, ISOs, and Windows Server 2019. Awesome. That should be good. There we go. We'll hit next, and hopefully it doesn't error out like last time. That was kind of weird. There we go. Cool. Looks like that is all good. So we can power that one on. Let's see. What about Elk Stack instead of Splunk? I mean, we could definitely do Elk Stack too. I've worked with an Elk Stack before. I think it's very cool. I'm open to try it. I mean, why not both, right? I mean, that's the perks of the lab, right? We could have both set up if you wanted to. I think that'd be awesome. Let's see. Good 4-liner AD setup in PowerShell. Really, that's awesome. Share it with me. I'd love to see. I know you can do a lot of that stuff. That's how I used to do my automated AD deployments, is like once you create the domain, you can actually export the settings, and it'll give you like the PowerShell script to do it. So it's really cool. But yeah, I mean, if you found something cool, either drop it in the chat or go ahead and drop it in the Discord. Hey, Vista Chris, glad you could stop by, man. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you. All right. Let's see. Let's open up share. Cool. All right, let's launch this remote console. Let's see. Mr. Chris saying, my lab needs more and more and more. Oh, I hear you. I mean, it's never ending. It's never enough with these labs. I keep pouring money and time into mine, but I mean, I don't regret it, honestly. I mean, I have a lot of fun with it. I've learned so much from this. I mean, I don't know. So here's my whole philosophy with it, right? So I went through, and a lot of you know, I went through and I did my OSCP about a year. Jeez, it's almost been a year ago. Yeah, I got it in June of 2020. So I got my OSCP, and currently I'm a senior in college. So I'm, looking to start working full time doing pen testing in June. So like the 1st of June is when I'm expecting to start working. So right now I'm doing some pen testing for a company, and I plan to stay at this company and work full time. I'm technically an intern right now, but not really, just by title. But I'm doing a lot of that pen testing work. And one of the things that I quickly learned is that the pen testing that you do on the OSCP or like Hack the Box, stuff like that, is way different than the pen testing you're going to be doing in real environments, right? Because, I went through and did a lot of this OSCP stuff or Hack the Box, but when I got into industry, I realized there were so many technologies I didn't know and didn't understand. Like, I don't know Active Directory extremely well, right? I think I know the basics of it, and that's about it. Or like load balancing, or how big networks work, or things like that. It's just something I don't have a lot of experience with. So having this lab, gave me a great opportunity to learn this stuff, and that's ultimately why I decided to spend the money in building this. Is because it's paying me back tenfold with the knowledge, in my career. See, what do you think of KYPO Cyber Range platform? I've never heard of that one. But I'll try to look it up later and see. But yeah, it's not something I haven't heard of. But anything cyber range platform, that sounds pretty cool. I'd be happy to take a look at it and see what it's all about. Let's see. Congrats on passing OSP. Oh, thank you. 67.5 points. Oh, that's rough. Sorry to hear that. That is really rough. Are you planning on doing that again, James? Taking the test again? That 67.5 that's tough. That's tough. I'm sorry to hear. Honestly, I really loved going through the OSCP. I had a great time doing their labs. I think they did their labs and built them really well. They were all super interesting, and all took real different paths. So I think when I was going through PWK, it was like I had absolutely no life outside of that. So I mean, like I was, oh, what's going on? No network. That's not good. Let me fix that. Yeah, so when I was going through, I mean, it was like every single day after work or school or whatever it was, I would just go through and do the lab. I mean, until like 2 a.m. every day. It was crazy. I think I rooted like 40 machines in 30 days, which, I mean, it was just so much time that I spent doing it. It was absolutely insane. But, it was worth it and a lot of fun. I kind of miss doing that, cert chasing. So I think this summer, in a couple months, I'm going to go through and do OSWE because I really want to sharpen up on my web app stuff too. So I want to do some more looking into that and seeing how it works. I don't know why there's no internet here. I'll fix that. Let's see. Mr. Chris, yeah, I never regret money I spend learning on new tools and skills. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, the money you spend investing in this stuff, it's like, it's going to make you learn more and then be better in your career, and which in turn, you would think will allow you to make more money, which is what it comes down to. And I think that's great. So personally, I'm totally cool with spending, the money in my home lab instead of, maybe going on a vacation or something. But, that's me. Everyone's got something different, right? To OSCP requires about 80% to qualify. I think you need 70 or 70. Yeah, I think it's 70% to pass, 70 points, if I remember correctly. I don't know what's up with this not working. I'm just going to try to reboot the machine. It should be able to get internet connection. All the other ones are able to. So let's just power that one off, and we'll start it back up. That's kind of weird. Oh, well. Let's take a look at the domain controller. How's that one going? All right. That succeeded. So now we should be able to promote it to a domain controller and actually create our new AD for us. So root domain name. I guess we'll just go with the tried and true conda.local. Now, later on, maybe as we keep doing this, what we could do is we could either create a whole nother Active Directory forest, we could create new domains in this forest, and maybe set up some different trust relationships between those. It's something, I've never done that before. It sounds really cool. So I'd love to do it. Like I said, that's kind of what this series is going to be. I've got like a checklist of things that I want to learn, and here's my way of, here's my opportunity to learn it. And I figured, hey, if I'm going to spend all this time learning this stuff, might as well do it on stream, interact with people, get some cool ideas, and maybe help some other people learn some stuff too. See, James says, I'm going to give it a few months before retaking. Going to have some fun with the Hack the Box Pro Labs in the meantime. Awesome. Yeah. The Hack the Box Pro Labs are awesome. I started offshore. I didn't finish it, though. I probably only got like 15% of the way through. It's kind of embarrassing, but I did enjoy it a lot. It's a lot of fun. I'm curious, which one are you going through right now? All right. We also got to set the password for this. Okay. Set that password. Oh, geez. I think I had a typo there, which is very common for me. I'm very awful at typing. You would think after all these years at a keyboard I'd get better at it, but it just doesn't happen, I guess. All right, that's fine. We can worry about DNS stuff later. How did you start learning AD attacks? Well, the way I learned a lot of this stuff, I like to take the trial by fire approach, right? So, I think the first time I ever did any sort of Active Directory attack was on Hack the Box Forest, right? So that machine had some cool AD stuff, and that was a great, precursor into getting into it. But I was so confused with it at first. It was so overwhelming, and it's just kind of something I did a little bit on Hack the Box, and then I would set up a couple Active Directory domains and try to learn that stuff. I do some reading on it, but I think what really helped me understand it was doing it in the labs and learning it that way. I think that's the best way, at least in my opinion, for me to learn. Now, I would usually read about the things, watch videos on them, but I gotta get that hands-on experience or I don't learn it well. That's just me. Let's see. What is blue, red, purple teams in cybersecurity? So like blue team is like the defensive side, right? So that's like your SOC, right? Or things like that, where people are the defenders. Red team, that's typically referred to as people who are the attackers, right? Like your pen testers and things like that. And purple team, that's kind of like when a company doesn't want to hire both, so they hire one. No, I'm just kidding. So purple team is like a mixture of the two, right? And I would say that's what I do, right? So it's kind of like one part you do offensive work, so you might be pen testing the company, but you also help with remediating the vulnerabilities and proactively fixing some of the vulnerabilities because there are problems there, right? So purple teaming, you kind of do both the the attacking and the defending. You do the blue team and the red team, so they call it purple. Other categories too. It depends, I guess, who you ask. I think some people will add like all these different colors of hats of hackers or things like that. I've seen like green hat hackers, purple. I don't know. There's all this crazy stuff. I mean, I typically look at it as red, blue, purple. But I'm sure, depending on who you ask or what source you use, yeah, I mean, you could categorize it all sorts of different ways, right? All right, so we'll check in. Looks like our IIS server is coming along pretty well. So I think all that is set. We probably, I don't know, do we need to reboot? I don't think so. Yeah, looks like we have IIS here. So let's see, can we navigate to localhost? So what we're gonna do is, I absolutely hate Internet Explorer. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So the first thing we're gonna do on here is just go to IE enhance, security configuration. This is what stops us from being able to browse to sites and stuff on this server. So we're gonna turn that off. We'll open up IE and yeah, we'll just close out of this. Let's go ahead and download Google Chrome. So that way we can get that out of the way because I cannot stand having to do all this in Internet Explorer. So let's see. James says, when we do purple teams, the red team often gives us the blue team's IOCs, techniques, etc. to search for. Exactly, right? So, that's typically how it works. It's like, you disclose a lot of your, the tactics or stuff like that in order to really help with the blue team. In my case, some of the stuff that I do at work is I actually create training exercises and stuff for the blue team. So we do some sort of like mental sparring back and forth, right? So we might set up a server, I'm attacking it, they're defending it. I get to learn new techniques because I'm trying to get around their defenses. They get to learn new defensive techniques because they're trying to stop my attacks. So some of that stuff I think is really healthy for an organization to do stuff like that. So I think that's a good part of purple teaming. So let's see, why can we not reach the page? We should have internet, I would think. Oh, you know what? I know what happened. I messed up the firewall rule. That's what I did. So, my bad. So, we're going to go to this YouTube deny all. And actually, what I meant to do is deny it to all local addresses because we still wanted to hit the internet. So, I have a port group just set for all local addresses. Let's fix the firewall rule. Firewalls cause lots of problems. So there we go. That should be good. That would make sense why Windows 10 was complaining then. It wasn't. Yeah, there we go. Oh, whoops. I love how Internet Explorer or Bing does this. You know, they're just like, you search for Chrome and it's like this massive thing. It's like, don't do that. Download Edge. Not today. Not today, Microsoft. No Edge. All right, cool. So let's get Chrome on here so we can actually work with that and have a good experience. So we'll go ahead and do that. Chrome install, super simple. Cool. I'm really happy everyone showed up tonight. There's a lot more people than I expected, so thank you all for turning out. I really appreciate it. I haven't done a stream in quite a long time. I think the last one I did was with Infinite Logins, and we live streamed that Blackfield box, and boy, that was a treat. That was a real tough box. I had fun with it, but man, that one was pretty rough. So, cool. All right, so now we have our IIS server, and we should be able to browse to localhost. Fingers crossed. Oh, okay, good. So we have the default IIS setup. Perfect. We'll leave it there for right now. It's pretty much all we're going to do. Let me just set up the Windows updates to run. See, will this live stream be saved in my channel? Yes. So I do plan on uploading this live stream to YouTube afterwards. I think it automatically does that. So in case anyone's gonna, dip out or can't make it, because I know this time zone can be rough for people on like the other side of the world. So yeah, I'll definitely upload it to YouTube after. So good, that should be done. Let's take a look back at our Windows 10 box and get that install going. Okay, this is taking a little bit. We'll pop over to the next one. So I like to do a bunch of these at once because I don't want to sit and watch it install, and I don't have automated deployments in the lab now. But like I said, if anyone wants to see some automation, just let me know. We'll do it. Okay, VM. Now, yeah, it's doing this weird glitch again where I cannot. That's so annoying. I can't send the controller to delete. The tab isn't named. I don't know what the deal is with that. So, guess we'll close this again and try it one more time. Super frustrating, but hey, what are you going to do? So, okay, we'll launch the remote console on that one. Let's do the same thing with this one. Oh, interrupted. All right. Oh, 3 a.m. in India right now? Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry. It's a rough time. Maybe in the future what I can do is do some early in the morning streams. So what I did is I sent out a poll to see what time would work best for people about, I don't know, a couple days ago. And it seemed like about half the people, which is the majority in the vote, picked the 5 p.m. EST time. So that's what I ended up going with. I think for a lot of my streams, what I'll try to do is set up polls like that just to see, who's going to be there. And, because I would imagine only the people who want to show up will vote. So, because if everyone wants to, say there's a lot of people in India who want to show up, but not a lot of people over in the United States, then maybe I'll do it, earlier in the morning, my time, or later at night to fit that time zone better. Hopefully that makes sense. So, see, it's still not saying that it has internet. I don't know what the deal is with that. We'll come back to that one later. So let's take a look at our SMB share server. So let's see. Let's go through and we'll log into this one. Now we'll set this up, like I said, as our file share server. So we should just have to install some of those services on there, similar to how we did it for IIS. And it should be all good to go. So let's take a look. I'm curious, is anyone out there gone through and done OSWE? Because like I said, I think that's something I'm planning on doing. I'm just curious to hear if anyone's got any experience with that or knows anyone who has. I don't know. I don't know if the course is any good. I haven't read too many reviews on it as far as difficulty or if the information is still not outdated or things like that. So I don't know. If you have any experience with that or any of the other OffSec certs, let me know. I'd be happy to hear. Let's see. So first thing we'll do is we'll change the name of this one as well. So we'll just put this to share one. That should be good. Awesome. That's going to have to reboot. And then what I want to go back and check on that Windows 10 machine. I don't know why it's saying it doesn't have internet connectivity. It should, right? You would think so. Well, okay. We'll do one more reboot. And if that doesn't work, I don't know. I'll maybe have to do some troubleshooting later. I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, it looks like all the other ones can hit the internet. Do we have it in the correct network? Let's see. So this is set to, yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. It's weird. Perks of technology, I guess. Sometimes computers are just magic. All right, so let's check in on the domain controller. I think, yeah, this should be promoted to a DC now, which is awesome. So we should be getting the start of our Active Directory domain. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Okay, that is all good. Now, I want to fix the time on here, but I don't quite remember how to do that. Is that down with the local server? Oh, yeah, time zone. Perfect. So let's see. Change the time zone. I am in Eastern time, so I think that's it. That is not it. I don't know oh no. I don't know what I'm supposed to be in UTC. That's okay. We'll try to figure it out. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to Google that. All right, so let's pop over to this one where we installed Chrome. And we should be able to just, I don't know. Oh no, is it still, oh well, that's okay. What is, I guess, I don't know how to word this. I'm sorry, this is like such a basic life skill that apparently I don't know. UTC -4. Okay, cool. I was close. All right, -5, -4. Atlantic time. Oh, Canada. Well, that's why I didn't know. I'm not in Canada. All right. All right. Well, give me a break then. There we go. So it looks like the actual time is wrong. So that's fine. Let's see, Mr. Proper, love your Privet series. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's a fun one. I think that's my biggest series I've got going, and I do plan on continuing to add to that. From Switzerland. Wow, it's far away. Glad to see you here. Let's see. How can anyone crack a pattern password on mobile? Honestly, I got no idea. I'm sorry. I got no clue on that one. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know what the deal is with the time. I don't think we're synced up to proper NTP servers, which could be an issue. Well, it will be an issue. So we can go through and fix that. I'll have to look up how to do that because I don't know how to do that off the top of my head. So let's take a look at how to do that stuff. So Windows Server set NTP server. Okay. Cool. So hopefully we should be able to see how we can get that working, because that's going to be a problem if the time is off. Maybe let's just see Windows Server time incorrect. There we go. See, greetings from Turkey. Wow, thanks for showing up. It's awesome. I'm glad this time can work for at least a decent amount of people. I know it's not ideal, but it's super hard to find a time that works for everybody. So it is kind of rough. But I'm glad to see we've got like 20 people on right now. So that is awesome. Thank you all so much. So let's see if we can find a nice solution on how to fix our time. I don't think I've had this issue before. Usually it just works. But hey, I mean, that's just what happens with computers. Sometimes they don't work. Set it to sync with Windows servers. Okay. It should be fine. Time.windows.com. Can we just browse to that and it will let us do what we want? That seems crazy. But all right, let's give it a go. So let's see. We'll do time.windows.com. Yeah, no. All right, clock and region. Select the tab, internet time. Okay. So let's see. We'll do clock and region. Please search. see, it's 2250 in Belgium. Wow. Hey, I mean that's a little bit late. Honestly, that's later than I stay up. But doesn't seem too bad. So it's not an awful time, I would guess. Let's see. Um, yeah, that is March 28th. How are you getting that time? Well, that just seems crazy. All right. I don't know. Well, let's see. Where does it say to go to? Make sure the option automatic synchronization is turned on. And okay. Don't see that setting. That's fun. If you need to change the internet time settings, no. That doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem to be working unless I'm just missing something completely. If it becomes a big issue, that's something I'll fix off stream. I don't want to die on this hole, right? Yeah, you know, trying to fix this forever. So let's see. Okay, so date and time. Okay, control panel, date and time. Yep. That looks correct. Okay, so maybe we just got to go back to what we saw before with the. Okay, so we'll go back up to this little time window. Additional clocks. All right. No, nothing's here. Fantastic. The time is just forever wrong. We're forever in the future. I don't know. That's cool. So let's try to reboot it. Maybe because it didn't have internet before, maybe it couldn't actually go out and reach those servers. Now it should have internet. So hopefully when it reboots, it can reach out via NTP and hit those servers. So, hey, let's try it, right? I'm not sure how the other machine's doing with time. Okay, so let's see how this one's doing. Okay, Control Alt Delete. Let's go ahead and log right in. It's like UTC 5, US and Canada. Oh, did I just completely miss it? You know, it wouldn't be unheard of for me to miss an obvious setting right in front of my eyes. You know, it's just what happens. It's all right. All right. So for this one, what's the time like on this? Let's see. UTC -8, but the time seems correct. Just the time zone seems wrong. Yeah. Oh yeah, Eastern time. Okay, yeah. It did say it right there. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, hunting cyber threats. I have no idea how I've made it this far. All right, cool. So that is all set. Time zone is fixed. Cool. William Frank, what's up? Hey, what's going on, William Frank? How you doing, man? Cool. All right. So now that I know what time zone I live in, which I have lived in my entire life and didn't know how to correlate that with UTC. So I guess I guess that's a thing, right? So we should be able to go through, actually fix the proper time zone now. This is, let's see, -5 Eastern time, US and Canada. Perfect. Still not properly. Let's see. Do you have a look at the latest exploit OTP not safe anymore SMS attacks redirect? No, I haven't seen that. I pretty much don't do anything with mobile security. It sounds like a cool topic, but unfortunately, it's just something I haven't really dove into before. I don't know. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know. It's something I haven't done. So maybe now that we fix this time zone, I'll give it one last restart. If it doesn't work, I don't know. I'll fix it off stream. It should be maybe okay, but Kerberos might be broken. So we'll see. We'll see. So let's head over to Web 1. I think this time looks correct, but it's just in the wrong time zone. So we can fix that, no problem. And this is why automation is great, because you know, you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. It would just be automatically set. You know, if you have a nice base image, or if you're using Ansible to provision this stuff, that's great. You know, it'll be a lot easier. So now that should be fixed. Let's go through with finishing our Windows 10 installation, and then we're going to have to go ahead and join all of these machines to our new domain. So that should be cool. Yeah, that'll be good. And then, you know, we might go through some second keyboard. No, did I hit that? I didn't mean to hit that. Yeah, then we'll go through and do some like basic OU structures, users, group, stuff like that. hopefully everything should work out fine. You know, some basic group policy stuff. I had a couple ideas of some basic group policy. Nothing too advanced for now. That could probably be a whole stream on just setting up group policy, probably like 10 streams on that. So we'll do some basic stuff and that should be good. All right. Domain controller is restarting. So I guess we're kind of waiting on the DC because after that is finished restarted, or after that is finished restarting, we should be able to start joining these machines to that domain. All right, so let's go ahead and send control alt delete. Let's see. Cool, log in there. Make sure we type that password correctly. Let's see. As a beginner, I started with CEH instead of OSCP. Is that good? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think, well, I personally have not gone through CEH, right? But from what I've heard, I think CEH is more like theory, and more, you know, more than the actual technical aspect. So I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think really getting any of those certs is bad. And it just depends on what kind of job you want and, you know, like what kind of requirements they have. So maybe the job you're going for wants CEH and not OSCP, right? I know a lot of government jobs, at least here in the US, do want CEH. See, oh, sorry, hit my mic. Let's see, William Frank, not much, just failing to port forward this MySQL service on this box with Metasploit making a dummy honeypot SSH user to reverse tunnel using SSH. Wow, that sounds very complex. Good luck with that. I know you're like a hack the box wizard, so good luck if you're doing a hack the box machine. All right, so I don't know what the deal is with this time. Please time work. All right, let's see. Can we hit the internet? Test. Yes. Yeah, this is not good. So let's see if we can figure it out. Does it have something to do with it being a domain controller? Highly doubt it. Let's see. Maybe we can find the correct thing, because I think if our time is messed up, we're probably gonna have issues adding things to the domain. It's okay. This technical hiccup is nothing. I once watched John Hammond spend 45 minutes trying to move PDF from a VM to his desktop. Hey, you know what? It happens to all of us. You know, we've all got issues that happen, technical stuff, especially live. Hey, sometimes moving files from a VM to your desktop is very complicated, right? Setting the DC as NTP clients. This might be useful. Okay. Configuring DC to use NTP. That sounds like what we want. Okay. So, synchronize the domain controller with an external source. Yes, that is what we want. Okay, I like it. In the command prompt, type this. Okay. So before we do this, right? So here's a great thing that I've learned. If you don't know the solution to a problem, and you're doing what I'm doing, Googling, accepting some random dude's advice on the internet, first thing we do in any step of this problem solving is go to take a snapshot, because who knows what these instructions are going to have us do, and it could break it. So we'll just say this is our base, and we'll take a snapshot. That way, if anything goes bad, we can just revert to that snapshot, right? All right, so in the Windows command prompt, type the following line where peers is a comma-separated list of IP addresses of the appropriate time sources. Okay. So can I copy paste between VMs? That is step one, because that would be awesome. I hope so. Usually it works. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, that's a shame. Well, that's fine. W32TM, okay. /config. Use a Python HTTP server on the Windows VM in the end. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, is just do that and then port forward it. That should probably, that's usually how I end up doing it. Or, actually, no, I'm lying. The way I usually do it is setting up port forwarding for SSH and using like SCP. But yeah, the Python web server, yeah, that works too. Manual peer list. And then I think we're just going to use time.windows.com. That's what it was. Let's see. Yeah, I know when I first learned that Python had a built-in HTTP server, it was like my mind was absolutely blown. I could not believe that was a thing. And now it's probably the most used thing in Python for me. All right, so this one, let's see. Sync from flags manual. That's not how you spell it. All right, let's try this. Let's see how this goes. Completed successfully. Okay. That's awesome, but okay. Config update. Okay, let's try that. All right. Please. Okay, what's the next step? All right, resync. Okay. Come on. Oh, all right, we got time working. You know, I mean, I'm not to say I'm a professional or anything, but I did just read an article on how to fix the time on our server. So, you know, you win some, you lose some, and I think that's a big win for today. All right, cool. Now, but all jokes aside, that's great because if we didn't have that working, I'm not sure we could get machines joined to this domain. I don't know. I never tried it, but hey, we got it. All right, so let's see. PHP also has a built-in PHP server. You can use SMB Server, which is really useful for RFI. Yes. So I have used SMB Server from Inpacket. I didn't know PHP had one, though. That's pretty cool. So thanks for sharing. That's awesome. Appreciate it. All right. All right. How many tools can you use without Googling? Nmap, Burp Suite, etc. Probably very few. You know, I can use a lot of tools, but there's a lot of things I forget about them. I mean, like things like Burp Suite or Nmap, things like that I use every day and I have been for years. I can use, you know, fairly well. But I mean, there's always new features to these tools that I don't even know about. And someone shows me when like we're like pen testing together or something, and I'm like, what? How did I never know this? You know, because realistically, you know, there's just so many tools and things out there. It's impossible for one person to know it all. You just, you know, that's why there's pen testing teams, you know, and things like that. You don't just do it solo because everyone's got different strength. Everyone knows different tools or how to use them differently. So that's why the whole team aspect of this is super important. But all right, let's go ahead and finish this Windows 10 installation. So let's see. Let's just sign with Microsoft. No. Can we not do... Oh, domain join instead. Okay. So, okay, we'll have to finish up setting the domain first. Okay, that's fine. No problem. So the domain is set up. Now we need to add machines to the domain, right? So I believe it's set up. Yeah. So maybe we can just do domain join instead. What's the IP address of our domain controller? We're going to need that. So we'll do an IP config. Okay. Now we could do it via DNS if we set up the DHCP server on the domain controller, because we could set the DNS as a DHCP option, but we're not doing it that way, so that's fine. Mr. Chris, you're heading out. All right, thanks, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks for wishing me good luck with the lab. Should be fun. All right, so let's see. That should be fine. Who's going to use this PC? Okay, we'll just say Conda. All right, that's who's going to use this PC. A super memorable password, something I'll absolutely remember. All right, my own name. No, I'm just kidding. Why don't they say something like something secure? Come on, security questions. Ooh, all right. The answer to all of these is just my name, right? I know a lot of people actually will go through and set like these random strings, like a password manager, like random 50-character string for security questions. And I think that's pretty smart. It's just interesting, because a lot of these things I feel like people could find out with OSINT. So it's not really a great security question, So cool. That should be all set. None of this, no, not getting any of this, juicy lab data from me for free, Microsoft. No way. All right, no, I don't want Cortana. Not at all. It's one of the most annoying things. I hate when I go to hit the search bar in the bottom left corner and I accidentally hit the Cortana thing. It's like, hi, how can I help you? It's like, no, you cannot help me, Cortana. All right. Let's see. So on our SMB server, we have not... Oh, we did. Okay, we did install this. So we do have our different shares on here. So that's cool. We don't have any shares set up, but that's fine. We'll go through and do that later. I don't want to get too sidetracked. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but hey, you know, that's just what happens. All right, so here's the IP address, 192.168.9.174. So let's go ahead and join machines to the domain. So let's see. We have to go to the network settings. Let's go through here. Change adapter options. So what we have to do is go through, and if you've never done this before, is we need to set the DNS server as the domain controller. That way it can actually communicate via DNS to the domain controller. That is a big requirement with Active Directory. So this is 192.168.9.174, I think. I'll have to double check that, but I don't know. I'm getting old. I can't remember things anymore. So let's see. That is absolutely not what I wanted at all. There we go. All right. So 9174. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Okay. So now, what's the setting? I think we can just go to like my PC, but connect your device to your work or school domain or your home lab domain. Microsoft. Come on. All right. That seemed to do nothing. Okay. So I think we just do it if we do to like my PC, whatever they call it now. This PC, and just go to properties, and then let's see, change settings here, and then let's go ahead and go to change and domain. We're gonna put this to conda.local and hit OK. Now we need credentials, so we got administrator and the password. Awesome. Hopefully we can join this domain. Okay, good. No issues there. That's perfect. Now it's going to want to restart this machine. Awesome. Go ahead, reboot, do your thing. Cool. Now we're just going to do another repeat for this one. So we'll go through and let's see, go to network and internet settings. Let's go to change adapter settings. We got to set the DNS server on this one as well. So we'll go through, manually set this to 192.168.9.174. No. There we go. 9.174. Perfect. Hit OK, and we should be good. Now let's go to this PC. Right click on it, properties, and change settings. Change here, domain, conda.local. I've done this a fair amount of times manually, so kind of got a little bit of muscle memory now. Cool. Administrator, password. Awesome. Hopefully this one joins. Awesome. Now let's go ahead, and that one will want to reboot as well. That's good. Let's pop over to Windows 10. How's this one doing? Looks like the install went fine, so we'll go through and go ahead and do the same thing. Let's go ahead and join this one to the domain. So let's go ahead and do, where is it? That's not what we need. Right click, network and internet. Is that what we just were? Oh, there we go. Change adapter options. There we go. Cool. Properties. We'll set the DNS server on this one as well. Great. 192.168.9.174. See, I would think I would hit tab to go to the next octet, but it's actually space. That's why I kept going down here. It's a little counterintuitive, I guess, but hey, you know. Let's see. William Frank is saying. Oh, you guys plan to do some fortresses? That sounds awesome. I've never actually done the Hack the Box fortresses before, but it does seem pretty cool. Anything that Hack the Box puts out is amazing. I'm a huge fan of their platform, and I don't know if all of you know this, but I'm currently still doing a Hack the Box 3-month VIP giveaway. It's happening in the Discord server, so the rules of entry and information are in the last video I posted. It's only like 3 minutes long, so just go ahead and check that out. Essentially, you just got to be subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and join the Discord server, and you can enter the giveaway there. The drawing is going to be in about 24 hours, right? Almost exactly 24 hours. So go ahead and enter that giveaway if you'd like to. Should be pretty cool. So let's see. What was I just doing? I was joining it to the domain, right? Getting too sidetracked. So this PC, we got to go to properties. And this looks different than what I'm used to. I think it would just be rename this PC. No. I don't usually use Windows 10 Enterprise, so I'm not exactly sure where all of the um, settings are for this one. So there we go. This should be fine. Yeah, there we go. And we'll just name this. Oh yeah, we want to name it Win 10 1. Okay. No, this got to be capitalized. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Win 10 1. Domain is going to be conda.local. Sweet. Hopefully that works. Come on. I believe in you, Windows 10 machine. And Leak saying, are you following a guide or do I have experience setting this up already? No, I'm not. Right now, I'm not following a guide. This is stuff that I've done quite a bit, so I know how to do this stuff. But probably after this first stream, we're gonna get into some stuff that I haven't done before, and I'm probably gonna be following some guides and looking some stuff up, reading docs, stuff like that. I mean, the whole thing of this stream is it's not gonna be a step-by-step tutorial, but it's going to be a different set of me learning things and doing new things and stuff like that. So it should be fine, Let's see, administrator. Awesome. A lot of deletes. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I missed it. I don't know what happened, but if we deleted it, it's probably a good reason. Okay, so let's see. Now we can just restart this one, and this one should join the domain as well. All these other ones should be joined to the domain. So if we just send a Control-Alt-Delete to them, we should be able to sign into the conda .local domain. So let's just test it out. And I can never spell administrator. Administrator. Okay, cool. Now we got that figured out. I should just set a keyboard macro for how to spell administrator because, boy, I mess it up every time. All right. That looks like, yeah, okay. Looks like it's good. Yeah, cool. And then same thing with this one. Let's just make sure that we can sign in to the domain. So we'll do conda. So this is like the NetBIOS name of the network / and then the user to log in as to the domain, right? So we'll do administrator as well because we don't have any other accounts set up. And then we'll log in. Now also, this is like our domain administrator, and you don't want to be logging in to random machines in your network as a domain administrator, because if those credentials get cached, then people can dump them. So maybe we'll look into doing some attacks like that later. I'm not necessarily going to be doing all the best practices and stuff while we're doing this lab, but we might go back through and secure things or show why they're vulnerable in this configuration later. Like I've said before, I'm not an architect of, Active Directory environments or anything like that at all. I'm pretty new to this stuff. So, we're just going to be going through and learning as we go, having fun with it. So cool. We are signed into all of these. Windows 10. This should also be domain joined now. So let's test that out. So we'll do the NetBIOS name / administrator. Okay. Conda 123. Bang. There we go. Super secure passwords. Awesome. It looks like this one is logging us in just fine as well. That's good. That's good. All right. Man. All right. So we've got 3 domain joined machines, 2 are servers, 1's a domain controller. Everything should be good. I'm curious. Let's take a look at our ESXi environment. How much of the hosts are we utilizing? Okay. I mean, we've got a ton of processing power left to work with, and we've still got 46-ish gigs of RAM to work with. So that's pretty good. I'll take it. So we could definitely set up more machines. I don't think these ones are being very greedy right now. Oh, they are. Yeah, well, I forgot. They're Windows. So these are actually utilizing all of the RAM I gave them. So maybe we'll have to go through and purchase more RAM. So, hey, it is what it is. So that should be fine. Or we don't need to run them all at the same time. We'll figure it out. But now, make sure that's still working. Okay. Now what we want to do is also start I should have started the Windows updates. So let's go ahead and start the Windows updates in the background because they'll take a while. So let's make sure those are all getting done. It's also something we should set up automatically. I'm assuming you can do it via group policy. I don't know how off the top of my head, but that's got to be a configuration you can do. So we'll just make sure we start all these updates. Maybe later on, we'll set up a machine that specifically doesn't have any of the Windows updates in place. That way, we can exploit some things like PSExec or things like that. Maybe zero logon if we set up an Exchange server. That'd be cool. Never worked with an Exchange server before, so maybe we could set something like that up. I don't know. All right, let's look at updates here. Cool. And this should be the last one. Let's see. No, I don't. Let's see. A Kaku sandbox. I don't know what that is. Never heard of that before. All right, cool. So all these updates are started. I'm not going to wait for them to finish, but it should be fine. All right. Because we'll have to go through like 3 rounds of updates. It's going to be like, all right, it finished, and then you got to restart, and you're going to want more updates. And, that's just how it goes. Windows updates forever. All right. So now let's go into Tools, Active Directory, Users, and Computers. And now we can start to get into some more fun stuff with our Active Directory environment. So we should have computers in here. Yes. Awesome. So we have Share 1, Web 1, Win10 1. We should have our domain controller here. Awesome. So we got a very cool, very bare bones environment going on. Also, let's go through again and let's take snapshots of everything right now before we start breaking things, because believe me, things will get broken. So let's call this base 2. That's fine. Yep. And then we'll go through another snapshot. We'll just call this base, right? These are all our just baseline images. I know the updates aren't finished, but I can go through and make more snapshots after stream once those, 8 years of Windows updates have completed. All right. Okay. Another snapshot. Where is it? There we go. Snapshot. Okay. Base. Cool. Now, one thing I might show you all is, have any of you seen the PowerShell tool or script Bad Blood before? It's very cool. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. So let's see. This could be something fun to use on our domain, but we're definitely taking snapshots before we run this in our domain. Essentially, what this tool does is it creates a bunch of random, Active Directory objects. And it's like thousands of them, like thousands of users, groups, computers, stuff like that. It creates its own like OUs and stuff to organize it. And it's really great if you want to like work with Bloodhound and not set up a bunch of sample data. So I've used this tool once before and it was really cool. And like they say, every time this tool runs, it produces different results, like every single time. So it's a cool thing if you want to populate your domain with a bunch of, random values and stuff like that. So maybe it's something we'll look into later. All right. So let's go back to our domain. Awesome. So now we have our basic, domain structure. We have our domain and we have, different things here. So what we could do is start to add some users and things like that. Right now, we don't have any users except for the default ones. So let's see. I think what we should do is let's create a new organizational unit. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new OU and let's call it global users. Okay, so, this isn't necessarily, like I said, going to be your best practices or what you should do for a domain or, setting it up and things like that, but it'll work for us, right? So we'll do global users, and this is where we're going to put all of our users in. And let's also create a new organizational unit. Let's call this one workstations, and this is where we'll put all of our, you guessed it, our workstations in. So that's cool. So I'll put that in there. And then maybe we want to also do like a, I don't know. Let's do a new organizational unit for servers, right? So maybe we want to treat those differently. I know we could, there's so many better ways we could structure this, but it'll work, right? So do global users, and maybe in here, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll go from there and see what happens. So basically, if you're not familiar with using OUs, basically an organizational unit or an OU is a way that we can kind of like, well, organize or like put into a big group or container a bunch of different users, computers, security groups, things like that. And once we put them in these, organizational units, we can create group policy objects and link them to the OU. So it applies to the OU. Now, if you're not familiar with group policy, essentially it is a way for you to create a bunch of different settings or apply configurations and things like that in Active Directory. And once you link it to an OU, it will apply to everything in that OU, right? Or if you link it to a security group, it can apply to everything in that security group. So that's how you get into like this complex management that is Active Directory. And there's so many intricacies that go into this. I've said this a lot. I'm certainly no expert in Active Directory management or using Active Directory or anything like that. So we'll go through some basic stuff right now in setting it up and doing some cool stuff. So first thing I like to do is get some sample data in here. So, we have our servers. So let's just see if we can add some things into here. So if we go into computers, I'm wondering, can we just drag and drop these into servers? Or can we copy these? Let's see. Maybe we should just create a new OU in here in computers. I'm not sure. Let's just take these out of computers right now. Let's move them into servers. Actually, only share and web. We'll move these into servers. Okay, that's fine. And then let's move Win10.1 into workstations. Okay, so that should be fine for now. We might move them back if we need to, but that's fine, right? So we could break it up that way, or we could create new OUs within computers if we wanted to. I don't know, whatever we want, right? So now let's see. Next thing, let's go ahead and I think there's like some automated scripts we could get for importing users in bulk to Active Directory. So let's just go ahead and download Google Chrome on our domain controller, because why not, right? It's exactly what you should be doing. So we'll do Chrome download. Dude, everyone's saying in chat. And Lake says Utopia is a hack the box enthusiast. Yeah, he's a hack the box enthusiast to say the least. He's probably the person who does hack the box the most out of anyone I know. Hey, and props to you, man. You're killing it on the hack the box scene. So, and I know you've got a new blog and stuff you've been running, and it looks really nice. So I'm happy for you. You're doing some good things. You're gonna be crazy. You're gonna be an absolute beast. I think you probably already know more of this stuff than I do. All right, awesome. So we'll get Chrome in here, and let's check out some automated imports, because I don't really want to sit here and make users for like 15 minutes. That would really suck. So we'll go through. Well, I think I've seen some tools about importing AD users from like CSV files and stuff like that. So we'll take a look and see if that's going to be feasible for us. If not, I'll just create a couple by hand, and we can add some more later or something. So let's just see what happens. Yes, you're 100% right. We only use Internet Explorer to download Chrome. I don't even think there should be a shortcut to IE on the desktop. It should just be a shortcut to download Google Chrome. That way it's just one less step. I mean, they know what we use it for. Nobody uses Internet Explorer unless it's a legacy application. I don't know anyone who uses Bing, so I don't know. I mean, let's see. Thanks. Talking about AD, you'll be excited for that APT blog post, Pure AD exploitation. Yes, I am super excited to see your blog post about APT. So, definitely show me that when you finish it. Post it in the Discord. I'd love to see it. If you want, we can set up some permissions or stuff. I don't have like a channel for sharing blog posts, but we can create it if you want. No matter to me. So let's see. PowerShell bulk import AD users. Okay. Yep. I've seen some tools that do it. I've never used one before. But let's look on GitHub, because I don't want to write a script. I want to use somebody else's script, right? All right, cool. Bulk user AD creation. A lot of people use Bing by accident. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. So I'd say the only acceptable reason to use Bing is by accident, or to search for Google Chrome or Firefox or Brave or whatever you want. Just something that's not something that's not that, right? So, okay, so yeah, this looks like something like what we would want. Let's see what their CSV looks like. So name, display name, SAM account name, email. That's a lot of fields. Wow. Okay, maybe there's something a little bit more simple. I don't want to populate all of that. That's it looks nice though. So let's see. This is a different one. This is just a module. No. Let's see what their. Do they have an example CSV? No? Okay. Not that one. Okay. Let's see. I don't think William Frank has a YouTube channel. I think he just does blog stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I think you could do a YouTube channel. I would definitely watch. You're definitely smart with this stuff, that's for sure. All right, so let's see. Import users. Come on, I want to see one with like a good, I don't know, a good user list already there. Anyone know of any? If not, we'll just create a couple. Yeah, users example. All right. All right, this is good. First name, last name, Sam. Okay. Yeah, this is easy to work with. Okay. Let's see if this works. For full instructions, view the blog posts. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. How are you doing this? How are you doing it? Okay, just specify file, CSV. Okay. Yeah, a lot of non-technical people don't change the default browser. Yeah, definitely. I think that's the case. That's true. So it is what it is. It's not the worst, right? Okay, so let's try to get this working. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, like I said, we'll just create a couple by hand. So that's fine. So let's see. Let's go ahead and unzip this thing and see what happens. I've never messed with these before, so I don't know. I don't do much in PowerShell. Quite honestly, I don't like it too much as a programming language. I think it definitely has its uses when you're working with Windows and AD. It's a lot better than writing in C#, or a lot easier, I should say. But I don't know. I mean, I've used PowerShell a bit for some things, but maybe it's just because I'm not as experienced with it. I like it for some scripting stuff, but I don't know. Nothing too crazy. So anyways, let's go ahead and launch PowerShell and try to get that working. So let's just go into our downloads, and oh, that's a long name for a directory. All right. So hopefully we can just do hopefully we can just run this. Let's see. Unauthorized access. Okay, so well, let's see. What's our execution policy? Oh no, I hit tab complete too early. It's gonna take a year to load. All right. So get execution policy. Remote sign. Okay. So we need to set our execution policy to, let's just do unrestricted, should be fine. So we can run whatever PowerShell scripts we want. Yes to all. And then let's try to run that script again. See if it works. Yes, run it. That's why I hit run. User lists. Okay. Well, I forget what the file is called. So, okay, we're going to add the users that are in the sample. Let's run this again. Run. Okay. Supply the user list. Awesome. What? Oh, no. Utopia, William Frank, you can definitely self-promo on my stream anytime. You're definitely an active member. I think you have 2 accounts that have been on my Discord, and both of them have been, I think they're like spot 1 and 2 for the most active accounts in the entire Discord, even above me. So, definitely feel free, man. You're doing some great stuff. Thank you all. Thanks for the support. Useful vids. Keep all the best. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Do I have a Discord server? Yeah, I do. I think it's in the stream description. I think so. Maybe. Is it? I might have left it out. Oh. All right. Well, I left it out. So let me just go ahead and update the description real quick. Give me a sec. And I'll put the Discord invite in there, and I'll also put it in chat for you. I usually include it in all the descriptions. I don't know what happened. I guess my brain wasn't working when I created this. So let's see. Yes, I do certainly have a Discord. There you go. There's a Discord invite. So you can go ahead and join there. We've got, I don't know, we've got a good amount of people in there. I think like 200 or something like that. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of great people. All right, OU. What OU did we create for these people? I think global users, right? Yeah. So global users. Awesome. What is that? Oh no. Let me read the docs again. What is it? ADUPN. Universal principal name. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to be. The universal principal name the user should be configured with. Well, what is a universal principal name? You could probably use something like Nightbot, which automatically sends a message that says, "Oh, I didn't know. I don't know what's Nightbot, dude. I don't. I don't know how I've made it, making videos and streams and stuff. But that sounds cool. I'll definitely look into Nightbot. I don't know what it is. Sounds cool. Mercury 180 gonna head off. All right, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. This stream will be uploaded. It should happen automatically. Usually gets posted right to my channel after. It can take a bit to process because of how long it can be. But hey, it should be posted after. So you can catch up after. Yeah, I know. I know it's an attribute for the accounts, but I just don't know what it exactly is. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's like conda.local. Okay, well, we'll try that. All right, fingers crossed. Please, some random script. Please work. Oh, a lot of red. Aw, man. Well, wow. That's rough. Okay, object name is bad syntax. Okay. Well, what have we messed up here? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Does he have an example of running it? Yeah, that's just my bad for not knowing what that is. Yeah, but we'll have the UPN. Okay, yeah, so it should be conda.local, I would assume. Yeah, so see, that's what I thought. It should be that, but maybe not. I don't know. One more time. No, let's see. What is it trying to run? Let's see. Let's see what the code is on this. Let's take a look. If not, like I said, we'll just do a couple by hand for now. And we don't really need a lot of users. It doesn't really matter for now. Okay. So let's see. What are they doing in this script? So UPN, okay. They're reading all this stuff in. Yep. And okay. SAM plus at. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, they're just using new AD user with all these parameters. Okay. Let's try running it again, but with the flags. So we'll do this dash file. What was it called? Like user name, user example, CSV. Yep. Dash. What else do we need? OU was going to be global users. Okay. And dash UPN is going to be conda.local. Cool. Let this run. Why? Parameter cannot be found in the message name file. Is that not a parameter? I thought it was a parameter. No? Oh, it's dash CSV. Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. So dash CSV. Okay. All right. Let's get some users in this bad boy. Cool. I'll run that. Nope, doesn't work. All right. I've had enough messing with that. We can play with that at a different time. Let's just go through and manually add some users. So let's head over to our Active Directory users and computers. Let's go to global users and let's just start creating some new users. So let's do new user. We'll just call this first one. We'll just go with we'll go with a John Smith. All right, cool. And I think the format for names we can do is first dot last. That should be fine. Okay, we'll set that user up. We'll set a password for that user, which I probably will never remember. That's okay. And yes. Okay, so there's one user. Let's go ahead and do another user. So we'll do new user. All right. We'll do a Jane Smith. All right, user logon name, Jane.Smith. And you want to be added to the AD domain? You want a special user account? All right. I'll set the password for this one. Cool. Awesome. Oh no, what have I done? I can't type. There we go. Sweet. Okay. That is created. Oh, John Doe. Yeah, we need a John Doe too. We have two different Johns. All right, cool. We got the Smith family in here. Most generic names ever. Perfect. John Doe. All right. Cool. We got a John Doe. Well, we will in a minute. So you'll be John Doe. Okay. I'll give you a username, and I'll just add like 2 more, right? I don't want to sit here doing this forever. Cool. So maybe I'll do some troubleshooting off stream and fix. It's probably nothing wrong with the script. It's definitely something on my end. So we'll go ahead and fix that later. All right, another user. Let's go ahead and add me. I am Brandon Rossi. So add me. Cool. Brandon Rossi at Conda local. Sweet. Because I'm definitely going to be a domain admin too. You know I'm an admin in my own domain. All right. So there's that. Oh, I messed up the password. Okay. There we go. Cool. There's that. And that should be fine for now. All right. Oh, wait. You want Elliot Alderson. Okay. All right. Is that the guy from Mr. Robot? I've never actually seen Mr. Robot, but I think his first name's Elliot, so that's why I'm drawing that conclusion. So we'll do Elliot Alderson. Okay, cool. We'll get them in here too. Sweet. And then we'll just set the password. All right, awesome. There we go. Now we got some users in here. That's awesome. Okay, now they're all going to be the same privilege right now, so that's fine. We can add users to new groups and stuff if we just right click on the user, hit add to group, and then, we can add them to different groups, right? So let's put me in the domain admins group. So what did you go in there? I just hit tab. All right, let's see. Member of domain admins. Okay, cool. So they're domain admins. Yeah, I know I should watch Mr. Robot, but unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't watch too much TV. I don't know. I have trouble like sitting still and just watching the screen without doing something. Like if I go to watch TV, then I'm gonna be on my phone and I'm gonna be on like Discord chatting to people, or I'm gonna be doing something else. I have so much trouble just sitting still and focusing on like watching TV. It's like hard for me to sit through a movie or TV show or anything. So I don't know. That's just how I am, right? Anyways, so let's just go ahead. I don't know. Let's imagine, right? So a lot of companies, you'll have like a help desk, right? Or something like that, like an IT group. So those groups will be able to perform, more than the average user, but they won't be able to do everything that like a domain admin could do, of course, right? Or at least I sure hope not. So, they should be able to do things like remote desktop into all users' machines, or like reset users' passwords and things like that. So yeah, so let's create a new security group. So a new group. Let's just call this like help desk. And they're going to be, global security group. Okay, so we now have a help desk group. So let's assign someone to the help desk. So add to, let's say John Smith is now going to be a fresh member of our help desk. Welcome, new recruit. All right, there we go. So they are now a member of the help desk. So now we should set up some basic policies that allows this group to do the kind of tasks that they would need to do. So I don't know. The first thing let's do, let me see. Let me pull up some of my notes here just to reference. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, so I think with the help desk, what we'd want them to do is allow them by default to remote desktop into any machine, right? Because if they're helping people troubleshoot things, they might need to get remote control. We don't necessarily want to allow everybody to remote desktop everywhere. So maybe we can just define that by groups and be a little bit more secure. Let's see. When Frank says, same feeling of constantly needing to do hacking or programming instead of watch TV or series, actively go out of my way not to watch them. Yeah, so I mean that's a big problem I have too, is like I feel like guilty if I'm not doing this stuff or like actively learning new things. I don't know, it's like a blessing and a curse, right? I mean, it can be tough sometimes, but I think overall it's pretty good. I mean, I like to do a lot of things to get outside and away from the computer. I feel like that's the only way I can kick that feeling is like, my girlfriend and I will go camping or like we'll go on hikes and stuff like that. And that really helps with that because like I can't go on my computer and do stuff. So I don't get like that constant pinging of like, you should be learning stuff, you should be doing new things. So I think a lot of, doing outdoor stuff like that has helped me get over that a bit. So yeah. All right, all right. So we want to create a new group policy object. So let's go ahead and let's open up group policy manager. So actually we'll go over to server manager. So we're going to manage, oh no, tools. And then there is the group policy management here. Sorry, my face is so itchy tonight. I don't know why. I think my allergy is just killing me. Like my face is just so itchy. Anyways, so let's see. We want to, no, this isn't what we want. We want, where is it? Where is it? I forget what it's called. What is it? Is this what we just had open? Oh yeah, this is what we want. Okay. So let's create, let's see. We have global users. That's what we want. And let's create a, well, no. We'll create it up here. So we'll just do a new, where is it? Come on, we just want to create new group policy. Where's the button? What am I missing? I don't want to link it here. So that's what I'm trying to avoid, right? No? Come on. Where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find the button? Where is it? Let's see. I'll have to Google it. So where is the create GPO? Let's see. I know how to do a few things with it, but apparently I don't know where that is. So, oh. Group policy. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was like, come on, why am I missing this? So let's say we want this to be like our help desk, let's say like RDP policy, right? So it helps to have these things be granular, so you can audit them more easily. You don't want to do like too much in one GPO, at least I don't think so, because that can lead to a lot of, problems troubleshooting of like cascading stuff and things like that. But anyways, so we'll do help desk RDP policy. And all right, so now we can just go ahead and edit this GPO. So now what we can do is specify different settings that are part of this group policy object, right? So we're defining like what this group policy object is, which is different, configurations of settings for computers or users or whatever. And then we can take that GPO and apply it to that help desk security group that we just created to apply the settings to anybody in that group. That way, say, we've got John Smith in the help desk group. Well, say we hire a new person. Well, we can just put them right in that group and they get all of the proper settings. Let's say we fire John Smith. Well, then we can just remove him from that group and he loses all that settings, or he goes somewhere else. So it's way easier to manage it if you're applying the group policy to like organizational units or security groups or things like that. So hopefully that makes sense of why we're doing it that way. So let's see, I got notes of how we do this. So essentially, what we need to do is define what the local group is going to be like for each. So in order for a user to remote desktop into a machine, they need to be part of the local remote desktop users group. So what we need to do is create a group policy object that defines what the actual local remote desktop users group should look like on each machine that's this group policy object is applied to. So let's see. If we go to, where is it? Computer configuration, preferences, control panel settings, right? And here's where it should be. And then local users and groups. So if we click on this, let's see, we should be able to do new and local group. So here's where we can actually define the local group that will apply to whatever this GPU applies to. So for us, it's going to be, I think we just hit these little dots here and get it. So it's going to be remote desktop, and then we'll just do check names. Remote desktop users cannot be found. Why not? Let's see, what are we missing? Let's see, this should be it. What am I missing here? Let's see. Give the intern's account SE backup operator, because he needs to be able to back up his Word documents. Yeah, I mean, that's what we could do. And if we do that, then we can blame the intern if we get breached, right? That's a big brain move right there. All right, so we should be able to do this. I'm not sure exactly what I'm missing here. Where is it? Remote. No. Oh, they're not. There we go. Yeah, remote desktop users built it. Okay. I don't know what the issue was there. Okay. But members. All right. So we're going to define this group, right, which is the local remote desktop users for each machine that we're going to apply the GPO to. And let's add, we want to add help desk, right? So let's add help desk. Okay. So help desk can do it. And we'll also we'll say domain admins for now. Nope. No. Get you out of there. We didn't finish that one. There we go. So domain admin, and we'll do check names. It will fill that up. Awesome. So then, any machines that we apply this group policy to, they should automatically have help desk and domain admins inside of their remote desktop users group on the local machine. So let's just hit apply and OK. Awesome. So we have that set up. We have this group policy object. Awesome. So what we want to do is we want to link this to the group. So let's go to workstations and link an existing GPO. So what we want to do is allow help desk to remote into all of our workstations. So let's see, we want help desk RDP policy, but I don't think the help desk should necessarily need to have to remote into our servers, for example. So we don't want them to do that. We just want them to RDP into our workstations. So let's hop over into our workstation and let's take a look. So if we log in as administrator, let's see, what we should do is let's go into our command prompt and we will do a GP update /force. This is going to update group policy on the machine since it's joined to our domain. And let's wait for that to go through. This doesn't take very long at all, just a couple seconds. And then hopefully we should be able to see the new groups that are in the remote management and users. So we'll see what happens. All right. So that is finishing up. Okay, great. So now what we should be able to do is do a net local group remote desktop users. All right. Awesome. So now you can see that since we applied the GPO to this machine, now we have, Conda /domain admins and Conda /help desk that are allowed to RDP into this workstation. That's pretty cool. So, this is the kind of stuff we can do with group policy. It's super powerful, and I think it's like one of the main security measures that can happen in AD, and one of the things that can be the easiest to misconfigure, right? So let's take a look and see if we can actually remote desktop into that machine. So let's open up a new remote desktop connection into win10-1.conda.local, and let's connect. Let's see if we can get in. I don't know if we have RDP actually enabled on that machine, so it might not let us. But we'll see. We'll take a look and see if it works. We'll go over here and check just to make sure. Remote desktop settings. Now we can also define this in group policy to enable it. So maybe we should go back and do that at some point. But yeah, so we can go ahead and do that. And now it's probably going to say that we can now that it's enabled. There we go. But we're going to log in as a different account. Let's do it as our John.Smith. and we'll put the password in for that user. We should be able to remote desktop in now as long as all goes well. Yes. Okay. So, well, since we have a user in here, it's just going to want us to saying, hey, can we kick you out? Because you can only have one interactive logon session like that. So you can see we're on our domain controller, but we're able to remote into our, Win 10 machine as John Smith, because John Smith is part of that help desk group, right? So, hopefully that makes sense. It's going to take a while to load because this user has never logged in before, but that's the kind of stuff we can be doing with this group policy management. So I'm just going to close out of that. We don't really care about remoting in. Just want to make sure that we can do it properly. Another thing that can be important is setting the password policy on the domain. So, we want to see how many characters a password should be, the complexity requirements, and then also the password lockout policies. Because maybe if we do some password spraying and brute force stuff later on, we want to know what that lockout policy is going to be so we don't lock accounts out. That's a huge thing when you're pen testing a real environment and you're password spraying, is knowing the password lockout policy of the domain, because you don't want to be locking your clients' accounts out. They're probably going to be very unhappy if you lock all their users out because you decided to spray rock you over their entire domain. That's not going to be a good day for you at work. I promise you that. All right, so let's see. In default domain policy, we can just hit edit on here. And what we can do, let me pull up my notes and see where this is actually stored. So computer configuration policies, let's see, policies. So I wrote some of this stuff down just so I didn't forget and have to look it up on the fly. But I definitely didn't know this stuff offhand, like where the paths were or whatever, So policies, Windows settings. All right. Okay, Windows settings, and then security settings, local policies. So let's see, security settings. Oh, what happened? I don't know what that was. Okay. Well, it seemed like the error wasn't that bad, right? All right. So local policies, security options, and then in here we should have a oh, I'm actually looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the wrong spot in my notes. My bad. That's all right. Well, let's see. Where is the password policy? I'm gonna have to Google that one. So let's see. Windows domain. GPO set password policy. I gotta see what the path is for that one. Policies, Windows settings, security settings, account policies. So Windows settings, account policies, password policy. Awesome. So here we are. This is what we needed. All right. So we're good there. So you can see, like right now, the enforced password age, it's going to remember 24. The password history, it's going to remember the last 24 passwords that you set. So you can't reuse passwords. Maximum password age, 42 days. Minimum password age, 1 day. Minimum password length, 7 characters. It's enabled that it must meet complexity requirements. And storing passwords in reversible encryption disabled. That all looks fine for now. Of course, in a real environment, you don't want 7-character passwords. You want to bump that up. I forget what the current NIST standards are, but they're pretty high. So yeah, you wouldn't want 7 characters. For our lab, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to leave it at 7. That's totally fine. Let's see. William Frank saying, don't most companies implement fail to ban or some kind of rate limiting in their AD networks? I'm not sure if I could say most companies do that. I don't actually have a great answer for that. I'm not sure, because it's kind of tough to say, because is it not typical traffic for a user to try to log in 5 times? Maybe because, a lot of the lockout policies like 3 or 5 times. And I think it can definitely happen where a user doesn't get their password right and that, 3 tries. Maybe they have typos. They probably type like me and they can't get in, So I don't know. I don't necessarily think that they do that, especially for internal machines. But you never know. I'm not sure what a lot of those companies are doing. But, we can look at this account lockout policy, which is important too. So let's see. Right now, account lockout duration is not defined. So let's say that if you hit however many attempts that we define, we're going to lock you out. For this, we're just going to say 5 minutes, right? So that's just an easy thing because we can do some testing with that later. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. That's just saying that we didn't have account lockout threshold set. So now it says 5 invalid login attempts. That's fair, right? So we'll do that. Then reset the account lockout counter after 5 minutes. So that's saying like, after 5 minutes, it's going to forget all your invalid login attempts. So this is fine. I think for our test environment, 5-minute lockout after 5 bad attempts, that's fine. That should be fine for testing. So we can also, we can show that working over here. I don't know if this has gotten group policy updates yet. Probably not, but we'll try. So we'll do John Smith, and let's enter some passwords, some bad passwords. So there's 3, 4. It looks like this might have locked it out. Let's see. So I think our password policy should be working and locking this user out, but I don't know. I certainly didn't type the correct password in. So not sure what that is, but we can go over to our domain controller and just take a look at the users. Let's see. Sorry, this is getting really cluttered really fast. I think we already had the users up. Yeah. So John Smith is what we're just trying to do. Is this account disabled? Let's see. It doesn't look like they're disabled. Where's the little radio box? No, it's not disabled. It's currently locked out. It may not be logged into. Okay, yeah, so the account is locked out. So yeah, where can we see where the account lockout is? I'm not sure. So let's see. We'll just Google it. Active Directory, see locked out accounts. Cool. Okay. Cool. Active Directory Pro. Sounds awesome. So running a query for him. Okay, but I wonder if we can see it in like the user attributes. There should be a way. Well, let's try this. Let's try the PowerShell way. There we go. So let's try running this. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, we can see if we do a search ID account dash locked out, we can see that John Smith. Sorry, I should definitely increase this font here. Let's see. Let's bump that up. All right, that should be a little bit better. Sorry, I should have done that a while ago. So now we should be able to see, the John Smith user who is currently locked out, which is pretty cool. So we know our password lockout policy that we just set is also working. So that's awesome. Now I think the last GPO that I want to make tonight is going to be for the machine lockout time. Sorry, like the amount of time it takes for the machine to lock when it's idle. So for me, I want that to be pretty high in the lab, but of course in real life, that's going to vary depending on whether the machine is and like who's around it, that kind of stuff. So to do that, let's go back to our group policy management editor. And this setting is in computer configurations. Well, we don't want to edit the default one. So let's see. No, we don't want this help desk policy. We want a new one. So let's see. Where's our GPO? Group policy objects. Perfect. So create new, and then we'll just call this one machine lockout. Lockout time. Awesome. So we'll do that, and then let's go ahead and edit that group policy object. So this one is stored under, let's see, computer configurations, policies, Windows settings, security. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening, that error. That's weird. Anyways, local policies, security options. And then it is interactive logon, machine inactivity. Awesome. So right here in this interactive logon, machine inactivity limit, we should be able to set this here of how many minutes it takes for the machine to lock. Now, for our intents and purposes, I'm going to set this to 60 because come on, what happened? Because I don't want the machines to lock with the VMs. That's not what you should be doing in a real environment, of course, but that's what I want to do for here. So cool. So we have that. We have that group policy now set. So now we need to apply that to some machines. So let's just go ahead and we'll go to domain controllers, link an existing GPO, and we want to do machine lockout time. Okay. Servers, link GPO, machine lockout time, and workstations. Also, go ahead and link GPO and machine lockout time. Awesome. So all of those OUs now have that machine lockout time set, so they won't be locking us out while we're doing our lab work. So I think, it's been, about 2 hours now, I think? Wow. That's been pretty long. So I think we're going to be starting to wrap it up around now. As far as what we're going to do in the next stream or when the next stream is, I'm not exactly sure. I think setting up a database with Microsoft SQL will be pretty cool. And then getting our, IIS server running, like with the PHP app and having them communicate back and forth. That would be pretty cool. We could also get into some logging with like Splunk or Elk Stack, as was suggested. That would be really fun for a stream. I think we should also do some stuff with service accounts and managing those properly. And then I think once we get the lab to a decent state, we can start doing some attacks. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. So, thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support. I see a lot of likes on the stream. That's awesome. Really active chat, which I appreciate. It's awesome to keep interacting with everyone. So yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, just reach out on Discord. They are pretty much all the time. I'd be happy to chat. So, gonna keep going with it. I've been seeing a lot of support and stuff on my channel recently, especially the last couple months. We're at like 3,600 subscribers or something like that, which is such a huge number. So seriously, thank you all for that. It's honestly been incredible, and I enjoy doing this stuff so much, and I have no plans on stopping. So I think this live stream thing could be pretty cool. I'm gonna have trouble finding some time to stream, but I'll figure it out. Right now, my girlfriend's actually out of town, and she took our new puppy with her, so I've had a bit of quiet time this weekend. But that's about it. I'll try to do this stream every week or two and figure it out, or just whenever I have time, really. But I'll let you all know probably at least 24 hours in advance. So, again, thanks everyone for showing up. I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.